I was employed in the self-storage market for close to 7 years. Throughout the years, I had quite a few different addresses. I have a strong suspicion that at least 2 of the structures were inhabited by ghosts. You have quite a few different things hidden away in the storage facilities that you have available. Everything from priceless relics to freshly minted curiosities. I have had experiences when I have seen spectral people and heard voices from the hereafter. I've also had bouts of severe anxiety, the kind that makes me feel as if someone is always observing my every move. My first experience with anything genuinely weird occurred shortly after I started working for a storage company. There are 5 stories to the building. The top levels did not have any windows. There were perhaps around 900 flats in the location. The workforce of a storage facility typically consists of no more than 3 individuals. If you were there at strange hours or when you were alone yourself, the building may give you the creeps. My employer and I would hear what sounded like boxes being transported upstairs during times when there was no one else present in the building. In 2015, I was involved in this interaction. When I had to work by myself, doing walkthroughs was a spooky experience. My mother, who lived in the neighborhood, would occasionally accompany me on my walks around the block on occasion. To provide some background, we previously had a client who was both without a house and had a diagnosis of schizophrenia. It was nothing out of the ordinary for us to overhear him having a conversation with himself. On some days, he was nice, but on other days, he was agitated and inconsistent. He never did anything that was harmful, and we had become accustomed to having him around. On the 3rd floor was where he made his home. Approximately twice a day, he would visit us here. On that day, my mother and I started the 20-minute inspection process. The moment we stepped off the elevator on the 3rd floor, we were greeted by the sound of a man's voice. The volume of the noise was overwhelming, but we were still unable to make out any words. After making eye contact, I shared the news with my mother that it was a customer. Not even a second thought crossed their minds. My guess was that we would be moving up to the 3rd level in the very near future. After some time had passed, I went back to my place of employment to investigate our surveillance system. Nobody else save the 2 of us had been in the building at any time. You will need to input your access code not once, but twice if you want to get to the 2nd level. Once at the main entry, and once inside the lift. A code is required in order to ride the lift back down. I did a second check by looking at the cameras just to be on the safe side. Nobody had come into our office in the greater part of 3 hours since it had opened. It was impossible for anyone to have climbed up there without being seen on video or by the access system. Even for us, there will be no radio speakers. It sounds as though a man is having a conversation to himself since his voice is quite distinct. The most terrifying aspect is that I seriously considered for a time that it was one of my customers. Things didn't change until after the event had already taken place.